Hello, thank you for watching. This is Dr. John Stewart of Biophysica, and this is the 2nd of August 2020. I want to demonstrate to you my new device, multi-purpose energy treatment device. Produces many different kinds of energies that I will demonstrate later. But I want to begin by describing and explaining the fundamental nature of the waveforms that we use, namely a square wave and pulsed wave. So I have here pulses driving this violet light at a low frequency. I can turn it down even lower frequency, and you can see that it's a very brief pulse. Now if I turn the frequency up faster, I'm looking on the oscilloscope. The little signal at the lower one is the pulse, and it's only about 150 microseconds, so it's much smaller than a millisecond. And this device can increase the pulse width. The frequency remains the same at 114, 115 hertz, and the frequency meter here, they're both reading the same approximately frequency. So there's a frequency meter built into the device for those who want accurate frequencies. So as I say, this is the pulse width, which I can make very short or so long that they coincide, in which case I need to slow down the frequency. So when you're running at the pulse mode, don't have the pulse width so high that there is no off period, because with pulses there are a very small on period and a big off period. Now the waveform on the top is a square wave, symmetrical, meaning the equal on time and equal off time. So simultaneously, this device that I've invented produces both of these waveforms. And also there can be attenuation of the pulse right down to zero, which is very important for extremely sensitive people. So I can turn the intensity up. Likewise, for the square wave, I can turn it down or up. So you have intensity control and frequency control, pulse width control. With regard to efficacy, it's my opinion that the pulse wave is superior to the square wave for stimulation because it adds that extra parameter, namely pulse width, that can have an important effect on biological tissue. This device can go up to a very high frequency. If I change a much higher frequency, up to about 1,200 cycles per second. And this is a light that's being driven. And this is the famous 380 nanometer violet light for cancer and clearing the astral body. So we'll move on now to a discussion of how to use the device. Thank you. I'd like to demonstrate now how this invention of mine works, all of the different features and properties. The way it's set up right now, it's driving a square wave through this output. So there is a square wave output and a pulse wave output and a microcurrent output that I'll talk about. So this is the square wave output. I'll turn it down. You see, square wave is equal time on, equal time off. But in a pulse, you get a very brief time on and a major off time. And then we turn the frequency up. Still pulse, this is the pulse output. So we're getting pulse wave. If I go to a higher frequency, the pulse has gone above 32. If it goes above 32 hertz, 32 pulses per second, then you don't see the flickering. It's called the flicker fusion frequency. Above 32, you cannot perceive the pulsation. That's why movies and TV is all more than 32 per second, so it looks like it's a smooth waveform. So this is the pulse waveform driving the 380 nanometer wavelength violet light that is reputed to treat cancer and also clears the auric field of entities. Entities don't like pulses, they don't like violet high frequency color, and they don't like electrical other energies. So let me turn this off. And I do have a lot of different light emitting devices. Like this is red only, and I can turn the intensity up or down like that. So if you don't want it too bright, particularly treating inflammatory organs, pain, then you would use pulsed red light. And on that topic, there's a nice little book here you might want to get, Red Light Therapy. Also, there's the PEMF, the magnetic book. But pulsed light can be very effective. So this is one. Others are light and laser. So this is just ordinary pulsed light. Let's turn it down. I have a laser here somewhere. Yeah, I think that's it. This is a green laser, a true laser. A green pulsed laser. So you'd put that over different acupuncture points or painful areas. And I have a variety of other different light stimulating devices that plug in here. See, that's a nice powerful red laser. This is a true laser. See, and you can, as you move this, you can see the pulsation. And if I change I can make the pulsation very small or very wide. Let's see. Okay. Now that was the square wave output. So there are many different light devices that I can power with. This one I like. It's sacred geometry. This is the Chakra Labyrinth, and it turns out that the labyrinth not only sacred geometry, but because of its Mobius nature, it's a Mobius coil, and it is radiating a scalar wave because it's a true Mobius coil. And I've even been able to get a magnetic signal from it. Yeah. Also, this device can drive little loudspeakers. I can feel this pulsating, so it could be used. You can hear it. So you get a wide range of frequencies in the audio and ultrasonic region. You can actually feel it. So it's a vibrational transducer for things like tapping. I have another device that for putting in parts of the body, up in the nose, for example, treating the brain. Quite bright. And this one here is a combination light and a magnetic coil. Let's turn the frequency up. And let's see if we're getting a... This is a magnetic pickup device. So it's picking up the magnetic field of our little coil. So it's a combination light now that you hear the frequency going up and down. This is scanning over a range. So the scanning is on. We can turn the scanning off so that it's a fixed frequency. That was 100 and that's still scanning on off. That's it now. So there is also here a microcurrent output for skin. These are skin electrodes, conductive rubber you put on different parts of the body, on the wrist. So, and this goes into the microcurrent output. Again, the intensity control of that goes right down to 0 for very sensitive people. And so that's one set of skin electrodes. Here's another set of skin electrodes, smaller ones. These are rubber, again rubber. And let me show you how to detect. If you don't believe there's something coming out, hold one, put the other, turn the intensity down, put your tongue on this one, and I can feel it quite strongly. So, in fact, there's a therapy in Europe where they electrically stimulate the tongue in order to rebalance the nervous system. So this is a valid thing, a way to test. Now, another way is to put the electrodes on your closed eyelids, like this, and turn the intensity up. And you can actually see pulsing lights as the retina is electrically stimulated. And it's my belief that the retina will respond and that we can possibly reboot any dormant stem cells in the retina for in cases of blindness. It's possible also that there is negative entities causing retinal and other damage. And again, pulsed energy clears these negative miasmic influences. So just recapping the front panel, this is the on-off for scanning. So this frequency scans back and forward and is actually more effective than having it at a fixed rate. This is the linear analog frequency control. This is the ranges from the lowest range, and the lowest range about 1 per second. And this little light indicates what the master oscillator, what it's doing. That's about 10 hertz. Put it down at 7.8 hertz, the Schumann frequency, or way up maybe 528. So we can get above 528. Yeah. And the frequency displayed. So that's the frequency range. This is the intensity control for the square wave and the pulse wave, high energy. This is the pulse width control. When you're in the pulse mode, it says pulsed output. And this is the microcurrent. It can go up to about 10 milliamps, more than enough for our stimulation. And finally, I do have coils for magnetic stimulation. And that's, so this is a magnetic field. So it's a very powerful, versatile unit. Let's see. Again, I'm changing the frequency. If you go too high, the coil is draining the power supply. So I think that's all for today. So thank you for watching.